welcome to Up Close and Gnarly. And today, for the second time, we have Joe Peters in studio, sort of.
Heck yeah.
He's in his truck studio.
Hey, you know what? You got to go where the work is and where the office is at. And today, my office is front row center, this driver's seat. So I'm okay with it.
You know, man, Joe, one of the things I love about you is I've got to see you in Bakersfield, I've seen you in Fresno, but your entourage, you guys are a bunch of big dudes. Like, I know if the Joe Peters crew is there, I'm protected.
Hey, it's easy to collect a check at the end of the night, you know?
I'm telling you, man, I'm 6 foot tall, and I feel like a midget around you guys.
I think I'm 6'5", 250. Our drummer's 6'6", 280. You know, our other guitar players, they're 6'4", 6'3", and just big old dudes. It was funny. We played a show with Trace Adkins in Arizona a few months back, and we got to meet Trace, and he's a big guy. And he was sitting in his trailer, and he looked up, and he said, "God dang, you guys are a big band."
Hey, it's that big band sound.
That's
That's good.
It's pretty funny. How's things been for you, bud?
Things are great. And I got to tell you, I've had a couple artists come through here, and you know what they always say when I bring up Joe Peters, right? They met you, they go, "That guy is a good dude." Yeah. And I don't think it's because you're big. I think it's they really mean it. I don't think they're afraid of you. I think they're saying you're a good guy.
You know, we treat people really well.
Play him.
We try to treat people with much respect as possible. And you know, this life in general is got its challenges and as difficult as it could be. But it's even harder when you're rude to people or you're disingenuous. And it's just I don't have time to be around people like that. And I don't want anyone thinking that I'm that way at all either. So we try to go above and beyond to be kind and courteous to people when we're out there playing. So,
well, and I mean that's what life's about, and we've talked about this before. How like this is kind of, I mean, you've got your regular life, you're doing these things, but you also have the ability to get to play in front of people and get to share your songs and get to share a piece of you.
Absolutely.
And it's got to be a great feeling, man.
Well, that goes back. I think we've talked about it before, but it's like, you know, you write songs that you don't have any real connection to. People can really see that, and they can really kind of weed through the fakeness of it. And I think I'm really proud of the fact that we do when we play our songs, they're true to us and true to how we live. And so there's like it or love it. That's just how we are and who we are.
Well, we're starting this thing called the Club One Country Series, and they have a patio. It's a pretty cool patio outside, and we're setting it up to where, you know, it's going to be you acoustically, and I've seen you do it many times. I've seen you with full band, which is a whole nother experience, but also, you know, there's something to say about just sitting up there with a guitar and a microphone, and you talk about a connection, and I'm encouraging people to come out. This is July 20th. We're going to be at the Club One Casino. That's a Thursday night. And Ron Rogers is going to open for you. Then you're going to pop on. And then we're going to have, you know, stay up late, play some prizes and stuff. But,
dude, I'm
man,
looking forward to it.
Try to bring your 9 foot tall friends.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna recruit everybody I know to come up to that one, you know. And I love Fresno, man. You guys have been so good to me over the last couple of years. And I tell you, you know, going out and playing full band all the time is like I said, it's a whole nother experience. It's a lot of fun, but I do really enjoy sitting down with acoustic and telling some stories behind these songs and really getting to connect with people on that level. That's just a whole nother show. And prior, you know, during COVID years when we didn't have the band together, that's all I was doing. I was going out and doing these shows like this. And so I told a buddy of mine the other day, I said, man, I kind of missed it a little bit. You know, I said it's fun for me. It's fun to work on stuff, and I can play new songs that people have never heard, and it's a lot of fun. So hopefully everybody comes out to it.
Yeah, well, there's something about too, like we've talked about, you know, your songs are like your children, you know, even if the ones you didn't write, but the ones that you wrote. And sometimes you write songs that are real personally, but then it just doesn't connect.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Still your song is still your baby, you know?
Right. And I think those
some
songs,
of your children make the pros.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, those opportunities to sit and play acoustically with people, it's like that really gives you the opportunity to explain some of those things and say, hey, you know, this is the song that may or may not come out, but this is the song that I wrote, and this is why I wrote it, and this is who I am. It shares a little piece of you and gets some more depth to yourself, you know. And so I really like doing that kind of stuff. And I've heard nothing but good things about Club One too.
Are your friends afraid that if they say something or have a crisis in front of you, you're going to make a song about it? Like,
Yeah. Well,
or you say the wrong thing, like "hold my
yeah.
beer, watch out," or
That's
whatever.
exactly right. Well, and I do I have had that experience a couple times with some friends. They said something, and I'll just get right into my phone and start putting in my notes. He said, "Oh God, you're putting a song down, aren't you?"
What are you doing?
I
What
said,
are you
"Hey,
doing?
you're the one that said it, not me. It's a good line. Yeah, you gotta store all those
Well,
things
and
away.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if
man.
you're not listening out there and you're not taking in all these things that go on around you, you're really missing the boat, I think, as a songwriter, because there's a whole lot of music out there in this in this world. It's just waiting to be written down.
Well, and life has changed. There's so many
Oh,
choices, and so when people have a million choices, but then they still pick you and they like you, that says something because that's a connection, and that's what this is
you
about,
talk
man.
about getting airplay and getting streams and stuff. It's like you're talking about every Friday thousands of people are submitting songs to Spotify to be put on their editorial playlists, and out of that thousands and thousands of songs, we get on there at whatever level. It's just like, man, that's a good feeling, because they don't take everybody on there, and so it's
Yeah, you ever see that thing that says you want to feel insignificant, and it shows like your Bakersfield, your
yep.
town, and then it shows the state, then it shows America, then it shows the world, then it shows the solar system. Next thing you know, we're like one of 7 billion planets, and
Yeah.
it's like, wow, I guess I'm not that
Yeah, it's
important,
well,
you know?
that's the old Stoic belief is memento mori, right? Everybody's meant to die, and it's like we're all gonna go through this earth one way or the other, and so we might as well get as much
Yeah.
out of it as we can and be as kind and have as much fun and experience every side of it, because it's all gonna come crashing down at
Well,
one point or another.
I like to hang out with people that have said, okay, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, you're living your dream,
just
man,
yeah,
and it shows. Like when you're at your shows, just meeting you,
yeah.
you're like, this is a good thing. I'm so happy to be
Heck
doing this
yeah,
right
man.
now. You
Like,
know?
that's the playing the show, actually being on stage and playing. That's the true payoff because all the stuff behind the scenes and the getting there and the unloading and the dealing with all the other crap that comes along with it sometimes, that's the work side of it. But man, playing a show, that's fun. That's the
Yeah,
payoff, man. That makes all the problems go away for me. So, love
yeah. I mean, and that's what it's about. One of the things I've tried to pick up in my life is to stop and enjoy the moment. Sometimes when we were doing this and we're doing that, it's like, wait, man, I want to soak this in for
it.
a
Yeah.
second, and I want to say, you know what?
It's tough to do. It's tough to do sometimes, because everyone does get busy and everyone's worried about getting to the next show or the next thing and I think as people we gotta do like you said. You really got to tell yourself sometimes slow it down and enjoy it and because some of these moments, I will say like I enjoy things a lot in retrospect. We go to shows and if I'm freaking out about the fact that I'm getting ready to step on a stage in front of 15,000 people and how crazy this is, I'll lock up. So I gotta
Right,
put
right,
the
right,
stone
right,
face on
right.
and go out and do it, and then afterwards jump around like a little girl.
I think in the 60s and 70s and 80s, I think that people faked like life was easy and they had these little, you can read this affirmation thing. And I've come to the conclusion life is not easy. And you're always having to make a decision. And part of your decision is the decision to say, you know what? I'm gonna have a good day today. I am gonna,
Yep,
you know,
absolutely.
I, this this is my moment to be here because in retrospect, I just lost a
Oh,
buddy. He
sorry.
had cancer and he called me and it was just like a couple months ago, and he was mad at himself because 2 years earlier he said if he'd have gone to the doctor sooner they could have done something, and he goes I didn't go, and he goes now I can't go for a walk
Yep.
down the beach or I can't, and he goes and he goes I look back and why didn't
Yeah.
I? And now here's Charlie overweight a little bit. And I'm like going, you know what? I can walk
Yeah.
today. I need to go feed my animals. I need to go do this. And just
Yep.
and Chris just passed away. And you know what? I had some great talks with him, and it put perspective back on me. I'm like, man, like you said, we get one shot at this.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's like tomorrow's not promised, right? I mean, we got to go and make this
Yeah.
all happen today. And you know, whether or not, I mean, if you, you know, if you, it's kind of like being at the gym. You know, if you look over, someone might be tougher and bigger and stronger, but if you look over to your left, there's somebody that would give their world to be in the shape that you're in. You know, and there's a lot of that. If we all threw our problems up in the air, we'd probably be reaching up trying to grab ours back. You know?
You know, I learned a long time ago when someone says, "How's it going?" They don't really want to know. They don't really.
No.
That's a signal to say,
Yeah.
"Great,"
Well, the
you know,
long answer is
because
the
if you
short
start
answer.
telling, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to hear it. I got my own
Well,
problems." And so,
that's where you got to find that escape and that release. For me, that's music. That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
payoff. You know,
yeah,
that's the writing and the traveling and seeing new places and not being still and not being keep moving. And I love it. I love
yeah,
it.
man.
So I'm looking forward to coming up there to Fresno. It's gonna be a blast. You know, there's
Yeah,
every time I feel like I go up there, we get a whole new group of friends and fans up there, and everyone's just been great. So I'm looking forward to that one.
July 20th. Now, just real quick, I was thinking of some new merchandise
Yeah,
for you. You know, how about the Joe Peters Piccolo? How about the Joe Piccolo Peters? You know, it's like
I
I think it's
like it.
Piccolo Pete's, right? And with your
Well,
face
it's
on it.
funny you say that.
And then,
That's all right. I just came from the merch shop. I just got a whole bunch of new Joe Peters hats. So
oh, look at
yeah,
that! Will those be available at Club One
I'm gonna be
Casino?
bringing them. I'm gonna be bringing them.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So you got the
Yep.
JP,
Yes.
and were you born and raised in
I
Bakersfield?
was born in Bakersfield. I left Bakersfield when I was 14. I moved to Flagstaff, Arizona, and then I moved back when I was about 20, I'd say. And I've been here, there, and everywhere ever since. But Bakersfield is definitely home.
Those are two hot cities, and I mean
You
hot,
know, you
hot
know, but
conditions.
Flagstaff actually, not being terrible in account of it being so high elevation, but man, it's the weirdest thing. You know, Arizona's a different kind of heat. It just
Right?
pierces
Yeah.
you. And you're down in in Phoenix and it's 125. It's like, how do people live here? It's ridiculous. You know, it's
Why do they
well,
do
I'm sitting here right
this?
now in
Well,
Bakersfield.
look.
It's 106, so it's not much better.
Well, the good thing is you're going to be on the Club One Casino patio for the Club One Casino Country Series, and we're going to have misters. We'll have ice cold drinks and
Can't wait.
fun, and yeah, it's going to be a good time. Joe Peters, thanks again. Love you, man.
Love you, pal.
Anything you want to leave the audience with? Any great wisdom you want to
Hey,
share with?
go out,
Leave us with
go out,
something.
be kind, love one another, enjoy the Fourth, and remember that we still live in the greatest country that this place has ever seen. So be happy, go live yourselves,
Love
man.
it. There it is, man. Thank you, Joe
Take care,
Peters.
bud.
All right,
Be
man.
good.